Hello, I'm Monica Peters, and today I'm chairing the Finance Committee. Chairman Britmore is out, so I'm going to call the meeting to order. First of all, I'd like to share a quick announcement. I'm so excited. It came out today at 1 o'clock this afternoon that the City of High Point received an EPA grant in the amount of $18.5 million. And just real quickly, I want to thank the partners. The partners were City of High Point, Piedmont Triad Regional Council, Guilford Technical Community College, Guilford County Schools, Macedonia Family Resource Center, NC State University, Clean Air North Carolina, and Piedmont Conservation Council. This is tremendously fabulous news, and I'm so delighted to share. So thank y'all so much for everyone that put.
Congratulations.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so let's get started here. We're going to start with item 2024-450. It's a consideration of resolutions to approve Piedmont Triad Regional Water Authority financing. And today to present is our Assistant City Manager, Damon DeQuain.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair and members of the committee, Mayor Pro Tem. So you all heard an item very similar to this in September. Staff brought an item. It is the exact same item with one exception, that the bond issuance in this item is for 2025. The previous was for 2024. I'll give a very brief reminder of what the item is concerning. So Piedmont Triad Regional Water Authority, PTRWA, is embarking upon two major projects. One is a capacity addition of 12 million gallons a day. The city is not participating in that, but they are also doing advanced treatment for the PFAS contaminants that you've been briefed on at several special meetings. So we are participating in that, as the city is one of the members of Piedmont Triad Regional Water Authority. We're the second largest partner at approximately 19%. So our portion of that project is roughly $16 million. And so this item has resolutions tied to it that the city council is agreeing to move forward with that project, and that we will bear our share of those costs. The budget impact is approximately a 2% increase to the water and sewer rate. And I want to be clear that that would be in addition to anything else that staff may bring for your consideration through the budget process. So with that, if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Otherwise, staff recommends approval.
Is there any questions or comments?
Just Councilman Andrews, as a comment. So we have to do this because it's a cost of compliance.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Yeah, I just wanted the public to know that it's not something that we can dodge. We have to do it.
That's correct.
The 2% increase, it's year over year, or it's a one-time increase?
It'll be, well, what that helps us do is to build the capital to pay the $1 million roughly per year. These are still estimated numbers. We'll come back with, when the bonds are actually issued, with what the actual numbers will be. But, every year when we evaluate that, it will be it wouldn't be an increase 2% every year after year for that, but it would be the 2% that it goes up. Those funds would be set aside to pay the capital expense, or the debt service rather.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any other comments or questions?
Motion to approve?
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay, there's been a motion to approve and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, that passes. Okay, now we'll go to 2024-451, consideration of a contract with Inspire Placemaking Collaborative. And today we have Sam Hennett, Interim Development Administrator, to give a presentation. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Very glad to be here. Sam Hennett with the Planning and Development Department. This is a request to contract with an outside firm for the updating of the development ordinance. As you know, the 2045 Comprehensive Plan has been adopted, and one of the early implementation tasks is to continue moving forward towards updating the development ordinance. That will ensure that it's consistent with the 2045 Comprehensive Plan. City staff solicited proposals in August of this year and received 4 proposals on September the 26th. The proposals were reviewed by the Evaluation Committee, and the Evaluation Committee found Inspire Placemaking Collaborative to be the lowest responsive bidder. Staff is requesting that City Council contract with Inspire Placemaking Collaborative in the amount of $253,900 $653 to update the city's development ordinance. Realize that that was a brief introduction. You do have additional information within your packet. Should you have any questions, I'm here to answer any.
Any questions?
Councilman Andrew, just a
Sure.
comment. I appreciate the Gantt chart and the detail of this particular proposal. That I just like seeing plans and something that we can hold a contractor to, so I appreciate it.
Yes, sir, it's very well put together.
Any other comments or questions?
No.
Okay. All right. I'll make a motion to approve consideration of a contract with Inspire Placemaking Collaborative.
I'll second.
Okay, there's been a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you. Okay, now 2024-452, consideration of a final adjusting change order to Breeze Enterprises. And today we have Melinda King, our Assistant Public Service Director, for the presentation. Thank you.
Hello, good afternoon. So this is for the Kensington Dovershire Stormwater Project that we have completed. All the work has been done. This will bring us to where we can do final payment to the contractor during construction of the 78 and 54-inch stormwater line, as well as some additional sanitary sewer replacement. We discovered that there was unsuitable soil for the contractor to reuse to compact on top of the pipes. And so they had to bring in select backfill to get good compaction, make sure the roadway would stand up once construction was complete. So we are requesting this additional funding in the amount of $111,809.06 for the final payment to the contractor and final closeout of the contract.
Okay, any comments or questions?
Okay, 20,000 change orders to date. This change request was 111. So percentage,
Yeah, so the original contract was 1.5, just about 1.5, and then this is the one and only change order we have requested, which is for 111,000.
okay, so we estimate 1.5, we're still under even with this change request?
Correct.
Okay,
Yes,
so-
yes, so we are still within budget on the contract, of the original amount set aside for the contract, yes.
Very good.
What is the status of the project?
It's complete.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
this will bring us up to final payment and final closeout of the contract.
Okay,
So they're under a
perfect.
year warranty still, so if any,
Oh.
I'm sorry, what?
You said the warranty was what?
They're still under their one-year warranty, so, this spring, if there's any seeding, things like that, and they still do actually have a little bit of work to complete that has to be done this spring because it's plantings within the stream restoration portion of it, but the overall project has been complete.
Okay, great. All right, if there's no more questions or comments, I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Okay, motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, that motion passes. Okay, now we go to 2024-453, consideration of a contract with Schaefer Roofing Services LLC. And today to present is our Public Services Director, Robbie Stone.
I think we skipped one. If you
Oh,
want to
did I?
455.
455. It went 455, didn't it?
Maybe she doesn't have an updated.
Yeah. Okay, I'm so sorry, yes. All right, 2024-455, consideration of a sole source purchase from Tarpomatic, Inc. And Melinda King will present on that one as well.
So
Thank you, Melinda.
on October 20th, we did have a small fire at the landfill about 2:30 a.m. So the fire department came out. They were able to extinguish the fire itself. However, the fire started and spread, and it ended up taking the tarp machine that we use for daily cover out at the landfill. So this is to replace that tarp, the machine and the tarp itself, so that we can get back to using a tarp for daily cover versus mulch, which does impact the amount of airspace that we have. So this allows us to have a much more efficient closeout and keep space within the landfill itself. We did do an insurance claim on this as well, so it's a $50,000 deductible, but the total amount of the tarp machine itself is $94,891.03.
It was no more damage than that.
No, thankfully, it was contained and caught early, and that was the only thing that was damaged during the fire, so.
It's lucky in the grand scheme of things.
Any other comments or questions?
An indirect comment, in, my real job, I've done some where we had requirements to do extensive destructive testing for lithium batteries and everything else like that, and how to extinguish lithium battery fires.
Right.
I'm just, at some other time, I'd be curious on how we plan on doing it with the fire department. I saw lithium battery and just.
Right,
sparked
yes,
upon-
yep,
'cause
yeah,
we
so-
spent millions of dollars and a
Yes.
lot of time to make sure that, with destructive testing and a whole bunch of safety protocols, whatever. So that's all. It just caught
Okay.
my attention.
Yes, and it's definitely an emerging issue as these lithium batteries become more and more popular, and making sure they're disposed of properly.
Okay. It's not your real job, Tim?
Nope.
All right, if there's no more comments or questions, I'll make a motion to approve item 2024-455.
I'll second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion passes. Okay, now let's go to 2024-453, consideration of a contract with Schaefer Roofing Services, LLC, and today to present is Robbie Stone, our Public Services Director.
Thank you. This is to replace two different roofs at our East Side Wastewater Treatment Plant. One is our operations building, the other is the old solids building. These roofs have exceeded their life cycle, do have several leaks within these buildings. We put out a contract, 4 contractors bid on these. Schaefer Roofing was the lowest responsive bidder. We do have funds in this current budget, and we're recommending to award this to Schaefer Roofing in the amount of $103,795.
Okay, are there any questions or comments?
No, I'm good.
When's the last time the roof was replaced?
I believe it was back in the early 80s. Yes.
Wow.
So,
It's time.
yeah, it's time.
Yeah. We got a good bang for
Only
our buck.
100,000?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, if there's no more questions or comments, I'll make a motion to approve 2024-453.
I'll second. No, sorry.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, that motion passes. We'll move on to 2024-454, consideration of a task order with CDM Smith, Inc. And again, Robbie Stone, our Public Services Director, will do the presentation.
Thank you. So this is to perform a risk and resilience assessment and emergency response plan by CDM Smith, who is on our our master agreement for professional services. The Safe Drinking Water Act requires us to basically restudy this, relook at this every 5 years. CDM Smith did look at this back in 2020 for us, basically assessing our utility systems, and then also it looks into our cybersecurity process as well. They will come in and update that 2020 plan and look at any changes and implements that we've done since then. We do have funding that's available for this project, and we're recommending awarding this task order to CDM Smith for $139,800.
And
Questions or comments?
again, this is compliance with new
That's correct.
regulations. Okay.
Yeah, sir, ma'am, if I may, this is, you may be familiar with the vulnerability assessments that came about post 9/11.
Right.
So this is the federal requirement that was put in place for water and sewer utilities. They just tied it to the Safe Drinking Water Act. And it's a good thing that we look at it every 5 years, especially with the new threats regarding cybersecurity.
Excellent. Thank you.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve item 2024-456.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
That motion passes. Okay. Now we'll go to 2024-457, consideration of a budget ordinance amendment. And today we have Bobby Fitzjohn, our Financial Services Director.
450.
Oh, gosh, I'm just getting ahead of myself. I'm so excited. Okay, so we're at 456. Okay, 2024-456, consideration of a contract with Yates Construction Company, Inc. And today we'll have Trevor Spencer with our Engineering and Facilities Director.
Thank you. Engineering Services is recommending contract award to Yates Construction Company Incorporated for the Quabain Sidewalk Gap Remediation Project. Since completion of the Quabain Avenue project, private utilities have been in process of converting from overhead utilities to underground utilities, and those conversions are nearing completion. So that will allow the existing poles to be removed pretty soon. So once the poles are out of the way, we'll be able to continue with this project, which will install all of the sidewalk gaps that are currently missing. In addition to that, we'll also put in the 10-foot multi-use path along Sunset Avenue from Main Street to Elm Street. And that will connect the project with the future Elm Street Streetscape project, which is part of the RAISE grant. And it will also be adjacent to the library site. So the contractor will be allowed 45 days to complete the project. Upon those to proceed, 2 bids were received at the November 20th bid opening, and Yates Construction was the low bidder at $99,125, and we are recommending award.
Any comments or questions? Okay. Hearing none, I'll make a motion to approve item 2024-456.
I'll second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
That motion passes. Now we'll move on to 2024-457, consideration of a budget ordinance amendment. And Bobby Fitzjohn, our Financial Services Director, will present. Thank you, Bobby.
Thank you, members of the Finance Committee. This item will establish a budget to properly record the 2024 CES revenue refunding bonds in the amount of $29,906,000. Back in 2021, City Council authorized the issuance of bonds to refund the 2014 CES revenue bonds. Tax-exempt refundings on an advance basis were eliminated in the 2017 tax cuts. So this was a way that we could issue taxable bonds until the call date, and how the tax-exempt bonds were issued on November 1st. So it's kind of I believe they called them Cinderella structures at the time, but a unique way to go about an advanced refunding. All in, this new issuance will result in a 3.25% net present value savings or cash flow of $1.1 million over through 2040. But when you take the 2021 action and this action together, it's about $3.1 million in total cash flow savings. So again, this just helps us record the issuance that was approved in 2021.
Any comments or questions? Okay, hearing none, I make a motion to approve item 2024-457.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, that motion passes. We'll move on to 2024-460, consideration of a resolution regarding policy updates to comply with SL 2024-26. And today we have Adam Ward, our IT Services Director. Thanks, Adam.
Good afternoon. North Carolina General Assembly recently passed a law, North Carolina General Statute 143-805, included in SL 24-26. This law requires local governments to establish policies prohibiting the viewing of pornography on government networks or on government-owned devices. It requires that all pornography saved on such devices be deleted by January 1, 2025. These policies must outline clear disciplinary actions and apply to all employees, elected officials, and appointees. Additionally, there are annual reporting requirements to the state CIO's office. Our current city policies partially address these requirements, but updates are necessary in order to ensure full compliance. Fortunately, we already have robust IT systems in place, such as our Checkpoint Firewall and Trend Microvision One, that will help enforce these restrictions and provide reporting capabilities needed to meet this new state requirements. We're requesting your approval of a resolution to comply with this new law and to direct staff to update the relevant policies accordingly. Happy to answer any questions.
Any comments or questions?
No budget impact, just updating our ordinances to make sure that they cover everything from the state, from the General Assembly, correct?
That's correct, and primarily that's going to include updates to the disciplinary action standard and the IT policy.
Only policies, not ordinances. that
Pol-
are
okay.
Necessary to the
Yeah,
ordinance.
I misspoke, policies. Yeah, there's a difference between a policy and ordinance, got it.
If there's no further questions or comments, I'll make a motion to approve 2024-460.
I'll second, I'm sorry.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion passes. Moving on to 2024-466, consideration of a contract with IHFC Properties, SPE LLC, and Dan Bernard, our theater director, is here too.
Hello,
Hello.
Madam Chairman, members of the committee, thank you. I am the director of the theater, and I'm happy to present before you a proposal to approve a contract for our HVAC services for, I think, the 51st consecutive year. So I'm hoping it's not a big surprise to you. The only difference, and it's a very small one, is that previous iterations of this were lease agreements, and from henceforward, it will be a service contract. The funds are in the budget, and staff recommends that the city council approve. It's $95,000.
Any comments or questions? Okay, seeing none, I'll make a motion to approve 2024-466.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I would be amiss if I did not remind folks to come this weekend and to the High Point Theater and see The Christmas Carol. If you've never seen it, it is an amazing production. So I really encourage everyone. And tonight, for those, it's a final dress rehearsal, so it's pay as you can. So if you know somebody on a really tight budget, they can go, just pay what they can, but it's a really great performance. Thank you, Dan. I'm sure you're going to enjoy being there all weekend. I'll see you there. All right, so any other comments or announcements? Okay.
Ma'am, I have a quick one. Staff just wanted to reiterate your comments at the beginning of the meeting regarding the $18+ million that the Southwest Renewal Foundation received. The city is a proud partner in that project, and one of the key elements to that involves Mr. Stone and his departments, where we'll be able to assess and rehabilitate a lot of the old sewer infrastructure in that area of the city. So it helps us with our CIP, it helps us with our budget, and there are many other great facets to that project. But we're glad to be a partner in the funds that organization received from the EPA.
Well, and thank you for bringing that back up, because when I was so excited earlier when I made the announcement, I would also be remiss if I didn't mention Dorothy Darr, who's the executive director of the Southwest Renewal Foundation. She has been amazing, and I know that Robbie's really enjoyed working with her and y'all working together. And I mean, it doesn't happen, by itself, and it's took a lot of collaborative, very, very hard work, and I'm so thankful to the city and to, like I said, all the partners, but Southwest Renewal Foundation and Dorothy Darr too. So thank you so much. Thank you. All right, well, if there's nothing else, then this meeting